All right, welcome everybody. This is another What Sold on eBay video. This is for the week of February 22nd through the 29th. So yes, there's an extra day on the end of it. When I do these videos, I only like to do 4 in a month. So the last one, the 4th week that I do in that particular month, I just tack on all the extra days at the end. So if we go to the 29th, the 30th through the 31st, we just bunch them all together and finish out the week that way. So as you can see, down a little bit in sales from the prior week. Well, it says compared to, February 14th through the 21st. So they're doing 7 days. But 2011, you know, not horrible, but obviously not a goal. But we're getting there for sure. These are 10 items that you're going to want to look for when you're in the thrift stores. If you are new to the channel, this is my way of showing you how I source the things that I source. A lot of the items that I pick from the week of sales have a high dollar amount sales volume and low cost. So not every sale that I make throughout the course of the week is like a monster, but these ones are kind of exciting, and they're certainly ones that you're going to want to also look for when you're shopping in stores. So anyway, let's get to it here. The first one is sort of like job site radios. I don't know that using the term or the keyword job site really makes a difference in your listing if you end up finding these, but these Sony boom boxes do well, and they're usually a high priced item. So I paid for this one in particular, and the model number is ZS-8H10CP. I paid $9.99 for this one. Now, if you look at the sold price is not the sold price. That's the price I listed at, and in my store, my pricing strategy is just drop everything 50%. So I price everything at a certain dollar amount, and then it's essentially cut in half. So this one was, for whatever reason, they're not showing that the price was cut in half. So it ended up selling for $69.99. The buyer paid $23.88 in shipping and then $4.90 in tax. So a total of $100.44 all in. And like I said, I paid $9.99. Now, the interesting thing about this particular one is it did not have the antenna and it did not have the power cord, but you could power it up with C batteries, I believe it was. So it worked fine, and they're well made. They're really well made. I had to do a little bit of cleaning on this particular one because it was a little bit dirty, so I had some wiping down to do. It was clear that they were probably using it on the job site. And again, I've said this in other videos, I always show the battery compartment to make sure that people see that it's not corroded and gross. And then, you know, sometimes I will take video of the thing working as well. So keep your eye out for these Sony radios. The Explode, I think it starts with an X, XPLOD is another one that you'll want to pay attention to in the stores, but this one certainly as well. So pretty good sale there. Keen. Now Keen for me is selling a little bit slower. Well, I'm not finding it as much in the stores as I normally do, but I feel like because we're still technically in winter that they are selling a little bit slower, and I'm just not seeing them turn up. So this particular shoe here was a good size and a popular color. So size 12, and the model number was 100193. From inside out, top to bottom, they were in very good condition. Get you a picture of the soles here. Minimal wear. And then you can see the style number right by the European sizing right there, 101913. It's a Newport H2, and I believe these sold for full price, $29.99. The buyer paid $20 in shipping. I don't know what I'm doing wrong shipping, but that seems like unbelievably high. I should note that I don't use pirate ship, and I know a lot of people are using that for heavier items and seeing good discounts. At some point I'm going to look into that, but this is a classic case that when a buyer wants something, they're going to pay the price almost no matter what it is. So $20 to ship, $465 in tax. That puts them at $54.64 all in, and then I paid $3.99 for the shoes. So start sourcing Keen again if you're not, the sandals, the water shoes, because we're approaching springtime. So Esprit, vintage Esprit is selling well right now. This sweatshirt I got on half off day. The color was purple or whatever, who knows. And so it was $4.99 marked down to $2.50, and I had seen it in there in it like a week or two before it went on sale, and it just sat there, and I had run the comps, and I really wasn't satisfied with taking the chance on it at $5, but at $2.50 it was worth it. And then I just priced it high because I didn't have really many other comparables that were close to this gray crew neck sweater with the like multicolored spell out for the logo. So I just took a shot and popped $39.99 as a price on it, and it sold for $39.99, and they paid $11.75 to ship, $207 in tax, so $53.81 all in. And like I said, I paid $250. You're going to want to pay attention to Vintage Esprit clothing, and you're also going to want to pay attention to Vintage Esprit canvas totes. Those are back in right now, especially the like the multicolored logo version of those totes. Those are doing you could probably get over $100 for some of those styles. So pay attention to both just the Esprit clothing in general that's vintage and those bags. Uniden Bearcat BC142XL 10 channel radio. I don't know what this is. I have no idea. The only homework I did on this was research the model number. The comparables show that there were very good sales. I priced mine at, I don't know if I priced it, I thought I had it at $39.99, but it's marked here $31.99, and that is what it sold for. It sold for $31.99, $10.90 to ship, $2.56 in tax, so the buyer is $45.45 all in, and I paid $4.99 for the unit. Again, I wish I had more information for you other than I saw a lot of solds, and this thing was sitting on the shelf at the right price, so I bought it, and sure enough, it sold quickly. That's one thing to note too, is it sold within the week of me listing it, so they must not be very easy to find, and they're obviously in demand. So keep your eye out for. And it's one of those things where if you saw this sitting on the shelf with a bunch of other stuff, you might pass it up. In this instance, this thing had been misplaced. It was sitting in the toy aisle, and anytime I see something like that, I see something misplaced, it always piques my interest. So I picked it up, did the research, and I'm glad I did in this case here. All right, next item, Dell Optiplex 3040. So a while back on Facebook Marketplace, I bought out a woman who had just a bunch of electronics from a store that had closed down. So as far as what I'm into this particular computer, it's like a couple of bucks at this point because there were so many electronics that came with that deal for $300. And this thing right here almost paid for the entire purchase. So Optiplex 3040, it sold for full price $249.99, and I believe this went global shipping. So I paid $10.20, and the buyer is $260.19 all in. So yeah, this was a global shipping purchase, but it did not come with the monitor, it doesn't come with a mouse or a keyboard or anything like that. Just that unit there, and it sold for $249.99. So really good price. It took me a couple of months to get it sold, but I kept it where it was at, did not adjust the price, and it eventually sold for that. All right, Mall Madness. I believe when we're talking about Mall Madness, the more high desirable version of this game was the 80s version. I don't remember what year exactly, 84, 85, 86. That Mall Madness one is in high demand, and it will sell for a very high price if you can get the electronics to work correctly, and it comes with all the pieces. You can even part that one out for pretty good money too. This one in particular, I paid $4.99 for it, so the return is not that great. And when you consider or factor in having to test the electronics and then sort all of the pieces out, time spent versus the amount of money I got back, not the greatest, but it did sell for $22.99, and the buyer paid $10.20 to ship and $1.99 in tax. So $35.18 all in. It's a fun game. It's the 2004 version. The other one, like I said, is the one you want to look for first, but don't be afraid to, if this thing is marked $2.99 or $3.99 and maybe you're having a slow day or something like that, pick it up for sure, because you can still part some of these pieces out and you'll make decent money. So it's not one of the things you should like automatically pass up. And I probably, if I had held out a little bit longer or priced it a little less aggressive, could have still gotten a higher dollar amount for it, but at the end of the day, it's gone, it's sold, I'm happy. Okay, nothing special about this one here. iPad Air 2 smart case. I feel like people were passing this up in the stores because it looked like it had scratches on it, but that was just the surface of the package. So it was brand new, and the way you can tell it was brand new is that little tab right there with the arrow on it that wasn't pulled, so you couldn't really access this unit. So it was brand new, just the exterior looked a little bit dirty. So they had this priced in the store at $5.99. It did sell for full price, $34.99, $3.99 to have it shipped, and then $2.80 for a total of $41.78 all in. And that's a pretty good return for an item that you pay $5.99 for. I remember thinking too, like if I get less than 35, I'd be pretty disappointed after spending $6, but that's a really good return. The advice I give is, a return is a return is a return, even if you get $1 on one spent. So, I'm like not even taking the advice that I give viewers, which is terrible. But I'm happy that I did pick this up. iPad stuff, Apple accessories, they're always going to do well. If you look at the feedback right there, 118 feedbacks right there, all positive. I mean, you kind of can't go wrong with the Apple stuff, so be on the lookout for that. This bolo here is Remington Wet to Straight. The model number that you're going to want to search is S-7900T, a very good seller. I was at the high end on this one. I had it priced at $34.99. And I believe it sold for that price, yes, plus $10.90 to ship, so $45.89 all in. This was marked $3.99 at a Goodwill, and I picked it up. This is actually the second one of these that I have sold this year, so I knew that it would do well. It was a little bit scratched up here, not in the best looking condition on the exterior, but inside was fine. I did no cleaning to it, and this actually right here is the unit turned on, and you can't even really see the light. There's like a little flashing blue light that illuminates from the dial there. So interesting that you couldn't see that. I should have paid closer attention to it. But at the end of the day, this sold. So keep your eye out for and you should always be scanning like the Conair hair dryers, the cordless stuff. I sold a flat iron not too long ago and I showed that in a video for over $200. So you really have to pay attention to these hair products too. And I'm a guy, I don't know the first thing about any of this stuff. I couldn't tell you what makes this thing tick or not. It's just, I go into the data on my phone, and if the thing looks good, it comes home with me. So this was a good sale. I'm happy. Nespresso. Anytime you see Nespresso in the stores, scan it or look the number up. The interesting thing about this is a milk frother. The interesting thing about this unit 3192 is it was dirty. And so I think people were passing this up because it didn't look like it was in very good condition. So if I could suggest anything to you is when you have something like a stainless steel finish like this, get Goo Gone and wipe it on there. It cleaned this thing right up, and it looked really, really good when I was done. So it just a few minutes of work brought this thing back to life. If you look at this picture right here, underneath the button you can see it says Nespresso right there. And then interior was very clean after I got through with it. Now, I did not use Goo Gone on the interior. The interior already looked like it was in good condition. It was just the exterior. If I was going to clean the interior, it'd be soap and water or something like that that was conducive to, consumption. So just keep that in mind. And this, I believe, sold for full price. Yes, $34.99. It's like 3 or 4 in a row at that price. $10.90 to have it shipped, $276 in tax. So $48.65 all in, and I paid $4.99 for the item. So anytime you see Nespresso, be on the lookout. It's one. Now, this was a marketplace find, and this happened very recently, within the last week. It is a Department 56 Halloween figurine. So this is the Sleepy Hollow Church. When I was on Marketplace, a listing popped up for 4 of these for $20 in total. The pictures were bad. There wasn't a list of the names. You almost couldn't even see what she was photographing. I had to zoom in and then search that Legends of Sleepy Hollow -een. And when I did, and I looked this particular one up, my jaw dropped. This is one of the rarest Department 56 Halloween pieces you can find. When I was doing the comparable sales, one had sold that was brand new for $299, so $300, and one of them had been listed and sold used for $120. There were none listed at the time I got this listed, so I shot for the $300 price, even though I had to mark it pre-owned. It sold within 6 hours for that asking price, $299.99, $16.25 to ship, and then $21 even in tax. So this buyer is $337.24 all in, and again I paid $5 for this. So what an incredible sale this turned out to be. Now, a word of advice: the buyer had a 0 feedback, which when I saw that initially, I had a heart attack. But A, they paid, and then B, when I was trying to do the research on their username, they were new as of December of 2018. So may have been a lurker and not necessarily a buyer. The account was over a year old. On their want list was Department 56 related items like this. So when I had seen that, I felt a little bit more reassured that, okay, this wouldn't just be like some scam buyer or, commit to buy something and not pay or whatever. So don't necessarily worry about buyers that have 0 feedback. I know that is like a topic of discussion sometimes in the groups, like, oh my God, should I be worried about these people? No, not necessarily. Just, go about your business and hope for the best. So in this case, everything went well. This particular unit was in absolutely pristine condition. And geez, there's not much to it other than it's just a super rare piece. Really beautiful. The you know, like the church windows here, neat looking, and you know, when it lights up, that's what it looks like. And it's, you know, nothing special, but just very, very hard to find. And because of that, I was able to get $300 for it. So, all right. Anyway, that's it. That's all I have for you today. Like, comment, subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one.